we are going over the evolution of NFTs on the Ethereum network so that by the end of this video, you will attain a basic level of understanding on how most popular tokens work, such as ERC20, 721, 1155, and the new 6551. We will also cover notable NFT protocols that may not have been successful but inspired the options we have today. First, I will go over each token individually, and then I will do a summary at the end. So if you can't watch the entire video, the breakdown at the end is what you really need. But if you skip all of this boring stuff, I would appreciate it if you could tap that ass while you are down there. Let's knock out some standard definitions because I want to get all the fun stuff out of the way before anyone falls asleep. ERC20 is the standard for a fungible token on the Ethereum blockchain. Fungible means that all tokens hold the exact same value, which may fluctuate similar to shares of stock in a company. So my 100 tokens or shares would be equal to your 100 tokens. Examples of these are Tether and Matic. NFTs are non-fungible tokens, which means that each token is unique and therefore capable of storing a unique amount of value, such as owning a whole business. My business or NFT may hold more value or less value than yours for a variety of reasons. ERC stands for Ethereum Request for Comment, okay? Now don't let that scare you. It is as if you installed a PC game in the 90s and you see a README text file with instructions on how to set up the game or modify it. If you were born in this century, I would compare it to a Lego set instruction manual for users and developers. So if you had the 721 comments, you could build smart contracts and mint NFTs that all shared the same rules and standards as other ERC 721 tokens. All NFTs have a token ID that is unique and can be searched by the smart contract's address and then located by the token ID to see which wallet is in possession of any given NFT at any time. This may be used for verification, trading, buying, breeding, or selling purposes using a simple API or ABI call. Those stand for Application Programming Interface and Binary Interface, which are the ways applications communicate with each other's servers. The smart contract will also have some sort of converter or a tool that identifies your token ID as a picture or animation recognizable by the end user. Keep in mind that while I am covering these NFTs, I can only talk about their current use cases. However, the potential here is very raw and untapped, just like that poor like button. So in the future, people may be doing things with these NFTs that nobody could have ever predicted, as the possibilities are only limited to the imagination of the developers and the demand of the end users. While ERC set the standards that tokens on other networks were inspired by, these standards are also a double-edged sword. Those of you old enough to remember Y2K ought to know this because the standard procedure expressed the year with a two-digit value, such as 99 for 1999, and all computers were going to reset back to the year of 1900 if changes were not made to everything running the code at that time. Now, the main criticism of the ERC 721 token is that the smart contract can't look up the token ID by itself, and it has to rely on the converter, which is scripted differently for every project. For example, CryptoKitties code would search every NFT on the chain to match the wallet address of the user just to show them their inventory. And when the network was busy, this would often lead to timeouts and errors. Imagine, for example, if the bank had to look up the balance of every customer it had before it was able to show you your account balance, and you couldn't buy or sell anything first without verifying that balance. Today, these tokens are mostly used for trading NFT digital art assets. This leads us to the ERC 875 token. This token was able to be transferred in batches in order to save gas fees, just like a carpool. With ERC 721 tokens, you had to pay a transaction fee to list an NFT, and then the buyer had to pay a fee to purchase an NFT. If you wanted to cancel the order or change the terms, it was another transaction fee, and as tokens became more popular, these fees were pushed to their all-time highs, and tokens built on the 875 protocol offered some relief by allowing users to buy and sell many NFTs in a single transaction, as well as set expiration dates on sales and allow users to update their prices for free. They could also accept fiat currency for gas or NFT purchases. This would greatly reduce total transactions, but the 875 protocol would never gain enough traction and was withdrawn in 2021. ERC 998 was an extension of the ERC 721 standard that enabled NFTs to own other fungible and non-fungible tokens. Yeah, crazy, right? Why would a token need to own another token? Well, the idea was to create a parent-child relationship between the tokens, where you can transfer a parent NFT in a single transaction that had multiple children attached to it, and the buyer would receive the NFT purchased along with all of the accompanying children. This is what is known as composable tokens. Users also had the ability to transfer individual children as well. Now, upon saying this, I admit, that kinda sounds fucked up, so please don't clip me talking about human trafficking, because that is not cool unless it is me doing that to other people. It's a joke. You done?
I just didn't know that you were recording like that, sorry.
It's okay, you're fine. I'm just waiting for Malcolm. I told you to do a longer video. Why are you watching shorts and shit? Come on, please. Need like 3 more minutes, bud. Thank you. Hope that's the last time. ERC 1155 was created with a focus on gaming to allow a single contract to deploy FTs and NFTs by designating the type of token through the token ID. This also gave birth to the SFT, or semi-fungible token, that would serve as a battle pass or tournament entry or non-unique in-game item tradable among players. This means that a single smart contract can create an infinite amount of new tokens, where previous protocols required a new contract for each unique token. This made expanding utility much easier for current NFTs used in games, as well as for the future expansions, and also allowed token production to scale up with less network congestion. It also allows batch transfers of tokens to lower gas fees, but the main drawback was the incompatibility with previously minted 721 NFTs. ERC 6551 is the new hotness that appears to be able to do all of the composable stuff from the 998 while lowering gas fees as well, while still being backwards compatible with the ERC 721 tokens. This is done by deploying a unique smart contract account for each token. For starters, don't believe everything you're going to hear about this new token in the next few months, because half of it is bullshit. Look, I am all for the improvement of technology, but I am not down with dumbass journalists shilling brown waste out of their assholes. It doesn't help with security, okay? If somebody tells you that, they are lying to you. It imposes a new point of failure in the additional exploitable smart contract layer, and it introduces new methods of fraud. For example, if I sell you an NFT that owns 10 other NFTs, you may wish to buy that for $100,000, thinking you will get all 11 of them. But I could transfer those 10 NFTs to another wallet or NFT, completely ripping you off in the process. Now, developers can easily prevent this with code, but it only takes one bug or one person to forget, and the next thing you know, North Korean hackers are popping tags for their missile program again. These people saying it offers enhanced security are simply talking about all NFTs in general, and they are not exclusive to this protocol at all. But some people are obviously addicted to crack, cryptopolitan, and they will say anything if you give them a 20 or a fat rock. My hot take is that these are to enable factory NFTs that continuously mint new NFTs for their owners. These super NFTs, as I prefer to call them, are just Web3's newest marketing gimmick in order to pilfer billions more ducats from gamers and investors by pretending that they are the first people to discover inflation. Centralized banks called, and they would like their grift back. The main focus here is gasless transactions without a layer 2 solution. That is enough. That is amazing. Why anyone has to add all this other bullshit about security and simplified use and innovative use cases is just pterodactyl pussy, because nobody has actually ever seen it. All of these things are at the mercy of the devs, writing the smart contracts on top of the protocols, and therefore entirely subjective and outside of the scope of this ERC. However, theoretically, it can enable NFTs built on Ethereum to do what other NFTs in games on many other blockchains have been doing for years with proprietary code at a much faster rate. It all revolves around making, investing, and earning with NFTs easier. Personally, I believe that anything easy isn't worth doing. We need to make earning in video games much harder so that it holds more value. It's easier to catch cheaters and bots or collusion and reward loyal players who get good at the game. Of course, there are many hundreds of other NFT protocols that are not directly on Ethereum, but we picked our scope and we're going to stick with it. If you would like to see more content about those, you know what to do. To recap, I have made this chart with the 3 major tokens in order to highlight their strengths and weaknesses. Remember, again, these ERCs are just the standard, and smart contracts can do anything in an attempt to overcome these default constraints. But the more spaghetti code that you layer onto these NFTs, the more of a possibility for a loophole or exploit to be found. It is entirely possible to over-engineer a smart contract and turn it into a dumb contract, especially if you are getting your devs from Fiverr. Anyone can watch a YouTube tutorial and build a successful smart contract. Many popular projects are directly copied from GitHub, and the developers have no idea what the fuck their functions even do, as they attempt to build contracts on top of them, as can be seen by their flagrant disregard for coding standards that show up as red flags on Surtech and quantum audits. I look at these as report cards in developer competency, and even if they go back and fix the grades in summer school, it still means they are an idiot who doesn't know what they are doing. And that's okay, because I'm also an idiot at everything that I am doing for the very first time, but I am not out there bragging about raising millions of dollars by lying about my experience and abilities.
Yeah, Mr. Laser.
Here it comes.
Here it comes.
You will be destroyed.
You're going
The
down.
explosion will be of extraordinary magnitude. Just hang on.
It takes a while.
Oh God, my back!